Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time of year. Hear that sleigh, Santa's on his way. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation. Got a ton of stuff to...
Hey, welcome back. Second edition. First part, Mr. Dominic Brown was with us and talked about a lot of great things. We hope that that you learn a lot of things about it, like I did. We're back with Mr. Brown now, and he's talking about PTSD and some honor moments that really hits you hard, you know. And a lot of people don't understand what taps. Taps. When a lot of people hear taps, they think Arlington Cemetery or someone high up died in the military. No. I have a good friend. I'm not going to say any names. Respectfully, that's a conversation between my friends and me, and I can honestly say that my friend, when he carried his buddies out of the jungle in the Vietnam War, they all deceased. So this is a gentleman that when he hears taps, there's nothing higher in respect at that moment than him remembering his brothers. Just imagine have to carry your best friend out of his zone for him only to die in your arms. Think about that. PTSD. This is what this is all about. I mean, these guys, this wasn't just them go and have a job overseas. This wasn't, everybody says, well, you served in the military, guess what? These guys were put through living hell in battle zones to watch their friends fall. And then they got to come home with that. They have to live with that the rest of their life. And this is why when you hear taps, you should take your hat off and you should stand up respectfully for the gentleman that might be standing 3 feet away from you, that might have been one of them that had to carry his best friend out of a war zone. At least have enough respect for that. And always remember, when you see a hat on the head, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, or he's wearing his T-shirt, the Army, proud, thank that man. You don't understand how important that is to a lot of these guys, for you to walk up and say, hey sir, thank you for your service. Welcome home. That hits their heart. And they won't forget you. I guarantee you that. They will not forget you. I know Dominic, he was in some pretty tough territory too, and PTSD, I think, it's something that if you've never served, someone like me that never served, we could sit here and say we're learning from it, but there's a lot of it that we will never understand because it's just not happening to us. Like you said, all of us have a certain part of PTSD in us on certain things, but basically when you're put into a war zone like that and you lose friends, and you come home and you got to say, why did I survive? Guys, we lose 22 a day. 22 soldiers that fought and served the country. We lose them a day. PTSD. Because they can't take it anymore. The memories. I got friends that when they go in a restaurant, they gotta face the door. They can never have their back to the door. They have to face that door, because if something happens that comes through that door, they're quick to respond. And And it's sad. There's guys that 4th of July, there's guys out there that on the 4th of July they put earplugs in. Do you know why? Because it takes them back to that zone where they might have watched one of their brothers, you know, die in front of them. And this, you know, 4th of July brings it back. Yeah, everybody said cookouts, celebration, 4th of July. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people that fought for this country that honor and respect the 4th of July, Independence Day, but it also brings back memories that haunt them. And, you know, I'm no professional, I'm no Dr. Phil. I can't tell you anymore. That's why I bring these guys on, because these guys are what you want to hear. I'm talking from people that's talked to me, and the only thing I'm telling you is a relay of what I've learned. And I don't enjoy hearing it, but I have to hear it. I want to hear it because I want to know. I want to know what our men and women go through that sacrificed their life for us. I want to learn as much as I can out of respect. And right now, I'd like to do a moment of silence. A moment of silence for this man right here, his buddies. For my other buddy that lost his buddies. For OD. For OD and Tina's family. Respectfully, I'd like to do a moment of silence for anybody out there that's watching me that's a veteran that lost one of their friends. This moment of silence is for them looking down on us. God bless her soul and thank her service. Back to PTSD, the VA Center. I wanted to try to get somebody from the VA Center, but I couldn't get nobody from the VA Center because with PTSD, it is a, how do you say this, a red tape? Mm-hmm. It's a red tape deal for you to actually work at the VA Center or any government facility and go onto anybody's camera or pictures and talk about things that happen with the military that happen in a VA facility. You cannot do that. It's illegal, or they could lose their job. So as far as where we're learning this from is from our veterans themselves. And who would you rather hear it from? Would you rather hear it from somebody down at the VA Center that never served over the seas, that never seen what these guys have seen? I mean, I'd rather hear it right from them. And it makes me respect everything I hear. It keeps my ears open. And so PTSD, I mean, is it, it doesn't pass on, correct? I mean, it's not.
No, that doesn't pass on. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Agent Orange, where like Agent Orange, and a lot of people that don't know Agent Orange, we're going to have a show about that. Agent Orange is a deadly disease that that our Vietnam veterans had, and along with PTSD. And if you had Agent Orange and PTSD, it was just, I mean, God bless them. I mean, they just, it was terrible. And well, it still is terrible because they passed that on from one family to another member. And it's just, you know, you don't hear it about, you know, don't get me wrong, but you don't hear our government talking about Agent Orange much because they just, it's something they want to forget.
Right.
But it's something that these guys will never forget because they got to live with it. And, you know, I just wish they'd find a cure for it. But PTSD, I mean, you probably know some guys that had Agent Orange along with PTSD, and you know, tell us what experience you've seen with that. I know it's PTSD alone is bad.
Yeah, it is, and the one thing about PTSD is just people are still learning about it because it's the unknown. because you never know like what someone's trigger is. For example, you know, like we had a burn pit in Iraq, you know, where you burn the poop and stuff. So if you come home and, you know, you have a guy, your neighbor has a farm, and they're burning stuff, and, you know, that can be a trigger because it brings back that senses. You know, you smell it, but like, okay, I smell that burning sensation. It brings you back to a flashback of when you was at the burn pit, or you was, you know, in Iraq. Same, like you say, with the fireworks. I used to be like that for a while, and, you know, it just I had to do kind of like a shock therapy, had to go through listening to fireworks and stuff like that, and kind of desensitize it a little bit. But the bigger blast is definitely a shocker. Just like with driving down the highway, driving down 81. When I used to go to my appointments, every time I saw something in the street, I would think it's an IED, because I drove 2 years in the Middle East, and that's all we had to look for. So when you see like a little black bag or a silver object on the side of the road, I used to think it was something bad. And I know one time I did have a terrible flashback where I ended up wrecking my truck, and then I had to get it fixed and then turn it back into Ford because my psychiatrist told me it was a big trigger. It was an F-350 05 diesel truck. And I picked it because it reminded me of a Humvee. It had the loud noise, had the diesel smell, but that gave me the most flashbacks. And it's sad because, you know, I'm a Ford person, but that's something.
We won't hold that against you.
Okay, you won't. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's just the little things that we don't realize that can be a trigger. You know, it's just the minor things like that. Just hearing something, specific gunfire, it's a trigger sometimes. And you never know how your senses react when you get home. And that's the big mystery with PTSD, because like for me, I'm still on my journey. But I'm a little bit further than some people, because, you know, my family takes it very serious, and my wife definitely don't want me to digress. But sometimes, you know, I still have my anniversary dates. I still have little things here and there that I still have to work on. And for me, Martinsburg, West Virginia is one of the best VAs that I've experienced. I have a wonderful treatment team, and just luckily, I have a therapist that's prior service. He's a Navy guy, and he used to train Marines and stuff. So he knows, you know, the way my warped sense of humor is. He knows when I'm serious. He knows when I'm just venting. So, you know, if any veteran out there, because I know for me, it wasn't easy, because the military and the government pump so much resources into us that we are the best at what we do. No matter if you do logistics, no matter if you're infantry, no matter if you're a driver, they train you to be the best in every single branch. And you don't want to think that you're not the best. And at least for me, it was like, I'm not broken, I'm not going. I'm not broken, I'm not going. But then there was a breaking point. I had to realize, okay, there may be something wrong. Let me get a second opinion. Let me get a third opinion. And, you know, when I did it, it was a big eye opener. And lucky for me, because I hear a lot of horror stories that, you know, people get a therapist or a psychiatrist and they have to keep telling the same story over and over again, and it's nerve wracking. And then they feel that that person really isn't helping them. But you have to find the right person. If you're in the VA system and you don't like a therapist, request another one. Just say, hey, can you find me another therapist? They will not be offended, trust me. I went through 6 until I got the right one. And he's great, and the other ones were great too. They were good, but they weren't great, because I wanted to make sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck, and I'm not wasting anyone's time. And it's just great. And for anyone out there, when you see a veteran, definitely, you know, if you can, go up to them. And I know for me, my experience, some people are afraid to go up to a veteran. Some people, and sometimes a veteran's afraid to say something back, because we're all learning this. You know, from every era of war, every veteran was totally different. From World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, and then we have RAF, OEF, Noble Eagle, and the list goes on. But when a civilian comes up to me and says something to me, thanks for your service, or just say hello, that means a lot to me. And, you know, I respond back, you know, thank you for your support. You know, because it's the little things that really matters. You know, I hope the world goes back to little things. You know, holding the door open for somebody, giving someone the greeting of the day. And I understand, you know, everyone is a fast pace because we got to pay the bills, stuff like that. But just think about it. Back in the day, you saw someone, you say, hey, how you doing? And it uplifted their spirit, no matter who they were. You know, you see your neighbor, hey, Phil, what's going on? Hey, what's going on, Dom? You know, it meant a lot. And I think, you know, if we go back to the basics, no matter if you have a veteran as a neighbor or just a regular neighbor, trust me, when you do stuff like that, you will run into that veteran and you will realize, like, you know what, he's just a regular person like me. You know, our military, it was a voluntary military when I signed up. Now, of course, Vietnam, they had the draft. My heart goes out to those guys. But for me, when I joined in '94, I did it because I wanted to. The government didn't force me. My parents didn't force it. My grandparents didn't force me. I did it because I wanted to. So I just hope people understand that when people sign up to, no matter what branch they're in, it's because they wanted to do it. You know, because during my era, we didn't have a draft. Now, Vietnam era, we did have a draft. Some of those guys wanted to, some of them didn't, but at the end of the day, they still did it. They served their country. They served the United States of America. And my heart goes out to them. I give them the utmost respect because they led the way for me. You know, just like with anything, you know, you always have someone before you that led the way. Whether it's working at Walmart, being a Walmart greeter, there was someone before you that set the bar. And these guys set the bar, and now it's up to me to set the bar to hire for people that's behind me. And, you know, I try to spread the word on combat PTSD, the TBI, traumatic brain injury, that's what that stands for, depression, anxiety, all those things because I experienced those. And I don't mind talking about it, I don't mind joking around about it, because the more we talk about it, the more we get an understanding that everyone understands. You know, people see me all the time, like, hey, Dom, how you doing today? I'm like, man, I'm doing pretty good. And we just start talking about regular stuff, day to day, paying the bills. And then, you know, and when you see a veteran, please don't ask them. This is the one thing that people always ask when I first got back. And adults only do it. The children don't do it. They say, how many people did you kill? Do not ask that question.
That's
Do not ask that question. Now, I laugh at it because, the reason I laugh at it because some people really don't know what to say. And it's no book or say, okay, say these things, don't say these things. Your average person do want to know how that veteran's doing. The average person is just afraid to, don't know what to say. Just say hello. Just say thanks for your service.
Exactly.
Just the simple stuff. You don't have to overthink it, but some people do overthink it. And for the veterans out there, guys and girls as veterans, please understand that sometimes they don't know what to say.
Yep.
So if they do say something wrong, just chuckle it up and be like, thank you. You know, because I had to learn that. And trust me, I was one of those veterans like, why are you asking that question? But when you get an understanding, they're just as afraid as you are. Because I didn't know what to say back to them. I'd be like, okay. You know, but then it was like, you know, thank you for your support because they are supporting you. You know, whether they donate or not, if they come up to you and say something to you, trust me, they gathered up enough courage to say hello, that's thankful enough. That's enough support for me. And that's all that really matters to me. And, you know, when I see Blackout and I see all the vehicles behind Blackout, the motorcycles, you know, Blackout to me, Chuck to me, you are Dr. Phil for me because when I see this truck, that is my serenity. That is me saying, you know what? They still do love everything that happened, past, present, and future, and no one has been forgotten. You know, no matter what branch you was in, no matter what war you was in, this means you have not been forgotten, you're not forgotten. We still remember you every single day. And, you know, and I love all the people that follow you. I love all the support that everyone gives. Because if it wasn't for you, trust me, when I was in VA, when I saw this truck, trust me, people thought I was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? When I finally saw the truck up close and personal, and I try to pass the word about Blackout all the time, because it means so much to me. You know, and I know your family been through a lot. I know I messaged you on Facebook like, hey man, get some rest. Because if you follow Blackout on Facebook, it seems like he is everywhere every single day. And trust me, Chuck, I know you love the veterans, you love the military, you love the EMTs, you love the fire department, police. Please rest. Please. I mean that and I know other veterans mean it too. Because if something happened to you, then you know we're going to wonder what's going to happen with the truck. But if you take the time and just take care of yourself and then say, okay, yeah, let me get back at it. You know, we're going to be there. We're supporting you. From here to high water, we're supporting you. But definitely, I've learned in my journey doing my therapy and stuff, you have to take care of yourself. You know, because the body's gonna let you know when you can't do no more. Because sleep deprivation and being tired, your body's gonna shut down. And I've learned that the hard way. And everything I've done in life, even the civilian world when I worked, you know, civilians believe to work 9 to 5. I believe to work from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I had to learn, hey, you're not in the military anymore. There's a reason they work 9 to 5, because you have to get the rest. So, Chuck, man, thank you for everything you do, everything your family do, because I know it's just not you, it's your family, it's your friends, it's everybody. Thank you for everything you do, and definitely get rest. I understand, you know, you take her apart in the wintertime and stuff like that, and just thank you. That's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. I got something for you, bro.
Okay.
Ready for this?
I don't know what it is.
I know you smoke cigars. So.
Yes, I do smoke
cigars. Oh,
cigars.
I love this. Bring it on in.
All righty. Look at this here.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support. Now, see, now I'm going to be smoking some good cigars here. We got some Swisher Sweets. We got some natural wooden tip now. The Black and Mild wooden tips are good. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, 2-tip, smooth. Thank you, Chuck. Thank Diamonds. Thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate this. My wife is really going to love it because she loves it when the flavor, so I don't stink up the house. So thank you so much, Chuck. I greatly appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. I mean, I get people that give this stuff to me, and you know, I know they give it to me to try to raise money for the truck, but you know, I just, I remember back when my first t-shirts come out, I gave $500 worth of t-shirts away, and I forgot one thing. They wasn't paid for yet.
That's not good.
But I was, and that's, excuse me, that's just the way I've been. I mean, I always like to try to give, and I learned my lesson there, you know, I mean, because I was giving stuff away that wasn't paid for yet, and of course it caught up to me pretty fast, but I like giving, and you know, it's just something that's in my heart, and you know, back in 2016 when I had my heart attack, and they told my wife I only had 7% chance to live, when I come out of that, and the next day I was on my feet, triple bypass, they wired my chest shut. But they told me I was diabetic and had nerve damage in my feet and just so on and so on. But you know what? I ain't giving up. I ain't giving up, man. My wife seen me through. She stood by my side the whole time. And when I come out of that hospital, I had a mission to complete what I started. And it started back in 2012. And it went up to 2016 and went down. But when I come out in 2016, I was a new man. And, you know, God gave me a journey. And my journey is to spread that word, to spread, to never forget, remembrance. And that's what I'm going to do until I die. And my wife, my family comes first.
Right, definitely.
But this is a part of my life that I need to show and to teach. Well, not necessarily to teach, but to show and make people understand that, look, you know, I didn't forget.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to forget.
That's right.
And as long as you see me in that truck, you better not forget. But you shouldn't be on the road if you forget that big thing coming in.
Right.
But, well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Dominic, it was an eye-opener for a lot of the people out there and me tonight, to hear the words. You know, now we know why you're a radio man.
Yeah.
You know, because you was way better than me. You could have just kept on going. I just sit back here and I could have smoked a cigar myself. But you know, Mr. Brown is he's turned out to be a dear friend from the day that I've met him, and I know we don't get around to talk much,
Yeah.
but a lot of times through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever we see each other, it's like, we ain't seen each other in 10 years,
Yeah, that's true.
and that's just the way everybody should be. I mean, you have to embrace the people around you, and those that you think that, well, he's got a bad attitude or something, don't embrace that. Try to look through that, because everybody has good inside them somewhere.
That's true.
You can't always judge. You can't always judge anybody just from something that they did, because everybody makes a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I have a nephew that was in prison. He made a mistake when he was in his teens. He come out and he's a good man now. And a lot of people learn from those mistakes, and that's what it's all about. And but guys, again, I thank each and every one of you for watching this show, and I hope that you guys are learning just as much as I'm learning. The House of Blackout is hopefully one day going to be something that the parents can say, hey, I'm thankful that my kids watch the House of Blackout, because I think that, if we keep on the path that we're doing, I think a lot of people's going to learn a lot of things. And maybe one of these days we can get a country that when the national anthem is playing, that they'll stand up, put their hand across their heart, and respect not only the country that they live in, but the gentleman that might be standing 2 or 3 feet away from them that went and fought for their country and lost somebody. That's it. All plays to one game. There is no good thing in doing anything on the national anthem or tax, but to remember, honor, and respect. And that's a lesson in itself. And but guys, we're going to call it a night. Dominic, man, you're awesome. And I appreciate you traveling down here to be with us.
Anytime.
And I know I'm going to be on your radio show here
upcoming
now, because scratch my back, I scratch your back.
That's right.
Deal. So I brought him down here, so
show.
now I got to go on his show. So what, I'm tickled to death. Anything for Dominic, I will be on his show, and I hope that. I hope I don't screw up as much as I did on these YouTube videos, but I'm only human, and
that's right.
But there's one thing that's gracious about me: love, honor, and respect for those men and women that serve their country.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you, and God bless our veterans. Guys, don't forget www.blackoutinc.org. Please visit that website. Also, please, tonight's show, like, share, and subscribe. I'm just absolutely amazed about tonight's show. The like, share, subscribe for this man right here. Please, at least like it. I am very, very thankful that you come down and did this show with us.
No problem. Thanks for the invite.
And also, don't forget, Christmas cards for Dominic. All right, I'm going to read all his information again. The radio station is WRGG 93.7. It's in Greencastle, PA. Okay? He's on every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. His email address is T00EZENT@outlook.com. Please send him some gracious words. Thank you for your service. Merry Christmas. Let's let him know that you've seen him on YouTube, and also pay attention to his radio show. It'd be awesome. Well, guys, God bless you. We're running out of time. Dominic, thank you, man.
Thank you.
You're awesome. God bless you. The House of Blackout. Stay tuned for our next episode. Got some more great things coming up. Thank you.
It's that time. Christmas time is here. Everybody knows there's not a better time.